Hey guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. Today I'm reviewing Bad Education from HBO. So Bad Education is a film about a true life story dealing with embezzlement at a prestigious school in New York State. And on its face, that sounds like that might be kind of a boring story. It's just this public school district that's trying to rise up. And you have some of the members of the staff, including the superintendent, taking some of the money that's supposed to be meant towards public funds to going to the school and funneling it into their own private endeavors. But I have to say, the performances really carry this film. Hugh Jackman, who plays Frank, who's the superintendent of the school district, gave a phenomenal performance. He's able to play such a nuanced character that through the first half of the film, you really are kind of rooting for it. He's a very charismatic and charming guy, and then you realize that he's kind of has this facade about him, and he creates this otherworldly presence about him that he's able to entrance, all the parents, and even the other staff, and even his own partner. And he's just able to walk that line so well. There's one scene in particular that I thought was excellent that deals with him talking face to face in his office to an auditor. And you have him just drop that facade of this likable guy and being basically like, if you go after me, I'm going to try and take you down. And I love how he was able to play those different roles. There's also another scene that's actually immediately after that one where he's talking to a parent and he gives a very impassioned speech. And you kind of see him boil over. In the beginning part of the movie, he's building this idea that he is the best superintendent. He is just all about the children. That's all he cares about, is making sure this school is taken care of. And then having him finally break down and show kind of that darker side, that side that just gets frustrated with everything. Those were some of the best scenes in the film, in my opinion. And he was by no means the only great performance in this film. Allison, Janney, who plays Pam Gluckin in the movie, who's actually the person who kind of creates the snowballing effect in the beginning of the film, gives another solid performance. She's been so good in I, Tonya and other movies and shows that she's been in that she definitely brings it again in this performance. And the things that I love about those two characters in this movie is that they have this other world that they've built around themselves. They kind of are in denial about who they are and what they're doing. You're able to kind of drop the veil behind people that are in power and how they could become corrupt and how these things just keep getting worse and worse and snowball. There are some moments where Hugh Jackman's character really is upset about what he's done. He explains how it started with these little things. It was one lunch and then it was a dinner. Next thing you know, he's buying houses and surgeries and all these other ridiculous things under the guise of he needs to do it for the school district to get them up to the #1 spot. And also the movie dives into how other people involved kind of create this problem. They're able to put up with these horrible things and kind of turn a blind eye because it benefits them. Ray Romano, who plays Bob Spicer in the movie, is another person who's benefiting from the raised status of the school, which is done through basically Hugh Jackman's character work. And they just kind of ignore the fact that bad things are happening, questionable things are happening, that we have this open secret that money is being wasted. But at the end of the day, it is helping the school. It's boosting the property values and kind of turning a blind eye to corruption is another theme that happens in the movie. While it does talk mostly about the idea of falling into this corrupt cycle, you do see the people that enable it and the people that are up in positions of power. And it does have something to say about larger scale things. And I do like how it takes that stance and it takes that theme. And the idea of trust is another thing that you have going on in this film because you want to trust the people in power, and people that are in power have this to hang over you. They have this ability to make you feel like they should be trustworthy because they're in these high positions. And just that abuse of power is something that definitely gets across in the film. I also thought the score was utilized pretty well. There's a lot of moments in this movie where it really focuses on facial expressions. There's a lot of physical acting, even in a movie that is pretty dialogue heavy, because you just zoom in on a character like Hugh Jackman's character or Allison Janney's character, and you're seeing that expression change of someone who knows that they've been caught or someone that needs to put up this fake facade, especially in their interactions when you know what they've done, but the people they're talking to don't know what they've done. They're able to have that look in their eye that you as the audience know, but the person they're talking to in the film doesn't know. And they're able to get that across so well in their performances. And the score just elevates that to another level because you have these very sweeping orchestral sounds that kind of raise the atmosphere of what's going on. And there's a lot of still framing shots where it's zooming in and out on a character. You kind of have sounds coming in and out. You have people talking in and out. And kind of these influences, you get the idea of how everyone is influenced by all these other people in power, and maybe it drives them to commit these crimes. I thought the ending was pretty well done. It is a little abrupt because you do get to the end. I don't want to spoil too much, but it is a true story, so I guess you could look it up and you wouldn't know. But, just to give forewarning, I will spoil the ending right now, so if you don't want to know the end of the film and you want to go check it out, which I do recommend you check it out, click away now. You see that Frank is in prison. He's dealing with his crimes, and he kind of envisions himself as achieving his goals, achieving that #1 status. That was the thing he was after. They harken on it over and over again that they were #4 in the beginning of the film, and he was going to push it to #1. He was going to push the school district, the best school district, and he was going to raise everything for everyone. And he has this idea, and he hears it in his mind, and he creates this like fantasy of him achieving it. And it's like, that's that last scene of him crying, laughing, like just that conflicted nature of his character overall, I thought that was a great way to end the movie, even if it is slightly abrupt. So if I were to rate Bad Education, I would actually give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's a really well done film. It deals with some fairly dry source material, in my opinion, and it makes it interesting, and that's definitely made by the performances, though it doesn't have the most shabby cinematography or score to it. I thought that definitely elevated it. They're able to create the atmosphere. They're able to create the time period as well when this movie takes place. So all of that blending together creates a really interesting movie, and it's paced out pretty well. It only being about, I think, an hour 45. Doesn't feel too long. I think a movie that's dealing with this kind of stuff could be really slow. So if you checked out Bad Education, let me know what you thought about it. Did you enjoy it as much as I did? Did you not like it? How did you feel Hugh Jackman played it? I think it was one of his best roles in recent years that I've seen. I feel like everyone thinks of him as Wolverine, and he was incredible in Logan. But seeing something a little different is something I liked from him. And honestly, it was one of the best performances I've seen this year. So again, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and see you guys next time.